Kenilworth is back on track as we witnessed the midweek, and we'll continue this Saturday. That is our principal local meeting, only standalone meeting, and that starts with an 8-race program at 1 o'clock. Certainly looking forward to some very well-bred sorts that dominating the early part of the card. It is 8 races, so it will be straight into that bipod. 1 o'clock is the off time to race number 1, and a man who's going to be with us for the preview to both Kenilworth and his favourite centre, that is the Turpentine, is of course the informer Daryl Marie. Daryl, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Morning, sis. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much. It's heartwarming. Now, race number 1, race 2. I'm looking forward to that and your thoughts. But race 1, again, a bit of form to work with. It is Penny's Choice from the Vaughan Marshall stable, who's at 28 to 10. At 28 to 10, about the 3 Marquetta. Then you've got the 1 that is at 11 to 2. That is What a Star. Ray Danielson gets the ride. A strong hand as far as numbers for Candice Bass-Robinson. The race 1 being number 1, What a Star. Now, from a bipod perspective, is it a tricky start or you've got a clear selection?
I think it's tricky. I just want to touch on the first timers. Now, I mentioned this yesterday, but not everyone watches midweek. These comments are no longer available in the computer form. If you want to get them, they're on the Gold Circle website under Media Center. You go into Publications, download the race card, and you'll see number 5, the trainer has said, says, had a course gallop and should run well. And then number 13 shows good speed back home, place chance. Now, I've opted to go with the raised runners over access. I've gotten all of numbers 1, 3, and 6. Now, you can see the 3 holds the 6 on form. They've met in the past, but take note, it was the 6 Penny's Choice's debut, whereas it was Marquette's 4th run. And I think Penny's Choice has improved subsequently with the fitment of the blinkers. So both of them going into my play. And then, if you go back to the Between the Lines run, Penny's Choice is held by What a Star. So I've included What a Star. So I think I played the safe route. I hope I get through. 1, 3, and 6.
1, 3, and 6. A few first-timers do take note that the 5 Blue Lagoon, a decent debut is expected, and hopefully it does fulfill the expectations. They did dig down deep to purchase this Eric the Red, a daughter of Eric the Red. 136, and it's an outlay of 54 rand. 1 o'clock is the off time to race 1. Lucy Fisher Maiden Dash and Maiden Plate is race number 2, the start of the place accumulated. It is 1,400 meters a trip. We should be off at 13:35, and no scratchings to bring you, and not too many changes to talk about. Beach Verse, the Beach Verse well-bred, is at 17 to 10. It is the 8 that is your second favorite, and that is a Wait For Me, and that is going to be your second favorite. And the third favorite is the one Clouds Are Clearing, and that would be at 7 to 2. Now, some well-bred sorts. Beach Verse obviously gives it all away. It is, of course, a daughter of Beach Beauty, and a half-sister to the well-performed Beach Bomb, who's already notched up 2 grade 1s and a couple of grade 2s.
Yeah, I'll be very disappointed if she doesn't finish in the top 2. I think she's progressing nicely to date. They've taken their time with her, and now they've stepped up to 1,400 meters for the first time. I think that's going to be in her favor. Now, Cess in her penultimate start behind Viva La Vida, we saw her come out and beat Wishlist during the week. And in race 1, Marquetta runs from that form line. So let's see if she's happened to frank that form. In the very same race was number 2, La Bomba Gold. Now, she's extremely well-bred herself. Sister to Tlatlui, Chill in the Air, Breeze Over Stays. Tlatlui is a mile and a quarter horse. So I think she's going to love the step up in trip, but she is held on paper. She's held 2.5 lengths. And then I had a look and I said, why is Richard Free not sticking with her? And it appears as if he's opted to ride number 8, Wait For Me. I went and watched the replay. She was soundly thumped. She was staying on in the latter stages and can make a lot of scope for improvement, but I wasn't that impressed, and I just thought I'm happy enough bankering number 6, Beach Verse, in all my exotics. I do believe she's the right one. I think if there is a danger, I'm going to tip number 2, La Bomba Gold, as the exacta proposition. So yes, banker 6.
And what about just the last word about the 5 Greek eras? Improvement obviously can be forthcoming from a classic winner from the Joey Somer stable in days gone by.
Absolutely. Extremely well bred, and another one that has got a lot of scope for improvement. But you'll see on paper, she has to reverse the form with Love Her Madly. So if you like her, you have to have respect for Love Her Madly.
Thank you very much. So 6 Beach Verse, that will be our banker in that first leg of the PA rather. Leg 2, which will also see the start of the Pick 6. We've got another banker, and we'll touch on that shortly. Lucky Fisher Turf Lucky Stakes is a race number 3. It's over the 1500 meters and a very, very competitive race number 3. But one horse does stand out, hence it is very short in the betting, and that is at 17 to 20. Goes by the name Sugar Mountain in the colors of the AWSM. Has been a soldier now. It's freshly turned a 7-year-old and is going for 4 on at the bounce first run this season for Candice Bass Robinson. Well done to her for another great raid in KZN. And Elder de Meyer, who has been aboard 21 times for 7 of those 11 victories, retains the right. So that is at 17 to 20. Nearest opposition, well, that would be Prometeer, and that is the 8 from the Vaughan Marshall stable. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Marie, to take us through Sugar Mountain. Since that last victory, what is the penalty? £3.
£3 penalty, that's correct, but no weight difference between himself and the horses that finished behind him, namely Prometeer, the Futurist, and Coastal Commander. All meet him on the same weight term. So on paper, how are they going to be able to reverse it? But races aren't run on paper, are they, Sis?
No.
So
We've heard that time and again, huh?
so I haven't quite bankered him in the pick 6. He is my clear-cut first choice, because if you go to the best weighted column, you'll see he's as much as 4 kgs best in of year. So if things really go his way in running, he should win, and he should confirm the form with those that finish behind him. The only thing I have to say is there doesn't appear to be as much pace in the race this time round. Last time out, he had the horse called, I think it was Pedro. What's that horse's called? That horse's name? San Pedro. San Pedro went helter-skelter up front because he had that 4 kg apprentice on his back, and I think the race was really run to suit. If there is one that's going to pick up the pieces, if he fluffs his lines, I do believe it is Prometeer. He ran second to him last time out. Richard sticks with him. So for that reason, I have backed him up, because I don't see as much pace in the race this time around. Yes, but I do expect him to win. Aldo in the past has said this horse can be ridden forward. So let's see if he can make it 4 in a row. So 4 and 8 in the opening leg of the pick 6.
4 and 8, indeed, ultra consistent. It is stats that read at 36 runs, 11 wins, 3 seconds, 4 fourths, and 6 fourths, 4 thirds rather, and 6 fourths. That is Sugar Mountain, backed up with the 8 Prometeer. That's the first leg of the pick 6. Get those pick 6s on by 2:10. Okay, so just to confirm, as the front of computer form will show that it is, of course, a Saturday feature races that will be dominated by the championship finals. It is the 1950, 1400, 1200, and 1000. And now we're into that 2000, the Winter Country Championship 2000 final. It's over the 1950 race number 4, the start of Jackpot 1. And here we've got Baton Rouge, who is the favorite. Elegant Noble is also up there. That is at 9 to 2, but your favorite is at around a 7 to 2. Now, this is quite trappy. 11 runners in the race. Mr. Marie, what are you doing in race number 4?
It is trappy, but I do have a first choice in number 7, Elegant Noble. Now, you'll see he was off for more than a year, and during that time they gelded him, and he needed his first run, he needed his second run, and then he started nearing racing fitness. And I liked his penultimate start, went third behind King's Quest. And last time out, this horse has got such a lovely stride. Apprentice Blake, he's took him to the front. Take note, he doesn't get his allowance over here because of these races, the Winter Country Championships.
Yeah.
But I don't foresee that a problem. If they just adopt similar tactics and let him stride up front, I believe he's going to prove very hard to beat. But he does have dangers, though. Baton Rouge is in cracking form. Richard sticks with him. Now, if you watch his last start, the runner-up State Capital actually quick and better than him. And the further they went, the more he just plugged away. And as game as they can come, he started extending at the finishing line. So I'm sure Richard will latch on to the apprentice and try start working on him earlier, and he can run him down. Number 2 interests me too, and that's the stable companion, Hill and Soul. Now, I'll be the first to admit he's really hasn't done much since winning on debut, but he's unexposed of this trip. And I had a look at his dam. His dam won over 1800, if I'm not
Hope
mistaken.
Solar, wasn't that Glenn Colson?
Yes, I think so. So here's a horse that's unexposed. He's having his peak run, and if he appreciates the step up now, that he's strengthened up, I think he could pose a factor over here. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see him fight at the finish. In order, I'm going 7-4-2.
7-4-2, that'll be the 3 numbers in that first leg by just the 2 horses in that second leg, 2 and 9. 1, 3, 6, 8 in the field at the back. Hopefully we do get to race number 7 and we can sit back or even wait in the queue. As we continue on the championship journey, we drop down in trip from the 2000 to 1400, and this is the Winter Country Championship of 1400 final. And looking at Happy Verse, well, that is pretty short in the betting evens. Is the 9 Winter Verse. Golden Angel, the 2, is the rival, and that is easy to back at 9-2. It is 13-2 about the 4 Monte A Manu, and then it's tens and better bar those. So Happy Verse, Justin Snaith, Aldo de Meyer, a 3-year-old son of champion sire Vercingetorix, is the current favorite. It's a seasonal debut, last seen on the tracks on the 21st of June last season, when running in that feature for 2-year-olds. Smallish fields they were, finished just under 3 lengths to Absolutely Yes.
And what a cracking effort. If you recall, he flipped in the parade ring and he was past fit to race. That was the grade 3 Langeman.
Yeah.
And there are so many talented individuals that competed in that race.
Yeah.
And for him to have only run 3 lengths behind them in his third start, you have to be impressed with that effort. As he wasn't well treated on official ratings going into that race. Yes, he's carrying 62.5 and he's got a wide draw to contend with. But I think he's got a lovely stride about him, and as long as Aldo gets into a good rhythm, he could run them down. I like his chances. I think he's a lovely horse in the making. I backed him up with the best weighted horse, and if you go to the front of the computer form, you'll see number 2, Golden Angel, is 1.5 kgs best in of year, and she's only got 51 kgs to shoulder, with Coldican in the irons from a neat draw. Now, in her comeback effort, it was over a mile. She's going to strip fitter. She's been successful, victorious over this distance in the past. Her only win to date was over the 1400. So I think with that weight to shoulder from a neater draw, she could pose a threat to the current favorite. Just on the previous race, says Hope
Yes.
Solo
Yes.
was actually trained by Alan Greff. You thinking of Hans Solo?
Han Solo, yes.
that
The
was
Bright
Glenn
Silks.
Cox. Yeah, Glenn
Yes,
Cox,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Thank you so much for that. All right, so we will be going with the 9 and the 2, in that
That's
order.
correct.
Thank you so much. 2 and 9 as confirmed on that Jackpot 2 slide, which commences at 20 past 3. That is the start of the second half of an 8-race program at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. Further drop in trip as we continue our Winter Country Championship finals. This is the 1,000-meter trip for this 6th race. The last chance to get involved in a pick 3, and that'll be an off time of 15:55. Now we've got another short price favorite. She's My World, who is at 6-5, and that is a saddle cloth number 8, Justin Snaith and Muzi Yeni. October Storm could perhaps be the start of a sibling double here, because there's a half sibling that comes up a bit later. That is at 5-2, 13-2, about a bluff on bluff, 8-1 and a better bar those. Mr. Marie, October Storm. It's another one sired by Vercingetorix. That is coming back after that run on the 15th of July.
Yeah, says I'm of the opinion this was made a lot of improvement from run one to run two. Now, he caught Connections by surprise on debut. He wasn't fancied on that occasion, and he beats a very average field. And then last time out, I think he made dramatic improvements. And for a horse bred in the purple like he is, if he can just put another step forward and progress even further, I'm not reading into the fact that he's out at the ratings of year, because he's going to eventually prove to be much better than his current mark. So another step forward, we'll see him right there at the finish. Now, obviously, the weights favor the fairer sex of year, and the one that comes up trumps currently is number 6, Easy Money. Now, yes, she's a 5-year-old mare, but she's in great form and she goes well over the course and distance. Slightly unfortunate last time out. She should have finished a little bit closer, but take note of the weight that she's set to carry, 52. So I think that brings it into contention. Yes, there are others with more scope for improvement, namely October Storm and She's My World, but strictly at these conditions, she'll pose a threat over here. She's My World, I think she's done outstandingly well since exiting the maiden ranks. What's key over here is they brought her back to 1,000 meters. Now, I thought her penultimate start was very decent, and her fourth beyond, absolutely yes, because that race really wasn't run to suit. But last time out, she let the side down. That's a little bit of a concern. But if she can get into a decent position from that, a little bit of a tricky draw, because you want to be middle to inside, I think she'll fight it out. I think she's an improving sort, and she bolted up over this distance in the past. So, yes, she's going to prove the one to beat, but if she fluffs her lines, I think numbers 1 and 6 have to be taken seriously.
Okay, so that is the story of race number 6 that's confirmed. 1, 6, and 8 are the 3 numbers that will make up that first leg of the last. Pick 3, that is race 6. Right, the last chance to get involved in a double now as we go to a 1,200-meter final, and there is a scratch in the 3 lady lookalike. At this early stage, we are recording on a Friday morning for Saturday afternoon. We haven't got too many changes come, and the only scratching that we've had come through is the 3 lady lookalike. Now, as far as race number 7 is concerned, just looking at the betting itself, it looks to be pretty competitive. You've got the likes of the 2 Sundays, who certainly retains that form, and the 4 on the Sear, a winner last time out, and quite a few runners coming out of that form line who are better off at the weights. In fact, there are 5 runners in total renewing that rivalry. 1 World Lead, the 4 Mondesir, the 6 Paratrooper, the 7 Counterattack, and the 9 African Prince. And it leads me to Mr. Marie. Any of those 5 your first choice?
I've gotten the fielding exotics of here.
But if you had to go for first choice?
I'm really keen to see how Chad Little's mount goes here, Azuri.
Yeah.
Reason being is, yes, he may have raced fresh in his penultimate start when winning over 1,200 meters, because he was off the track for 3.5 months, and it was of a distance which appeared to be short of his best. But he led from start to finish on that occasion. He wasn't trapped for early toe. Then they put him over 1,400 in his second one after arrest. And what's interesting now is, instead of going further with him, because he has contested races over 1,800 and a mile in the past, Mr. Lucinda and Mr. Woodruff have decided to bring him back to the 1,200. So I find that very, very interesting. I want to see how he goes. The rest of them, like Clyde says, is spaghetti, because you got Montplaisir, African Prince, Paratrooper, all finished alongside each other. Then you got the likes of Kelp Forest. I think this is a lovely race for him to bounce back to better form. They've put the blinkers on him and they've come back in trip. I think if things go well for him in running, we know he's got the turn of foot to run them down. And then Sundazed on form there. Very little separating himself and Montplaisir. So, yeah, Cecil, everyone goes in, yeah. Maybe Azuri as a narrow first choice, but I'm shouting on the biggest roughie. Why not?
Yeah, and let's hope that the magic that Miss Woodruff and Chad Little have been conjuring up in KZN certainly will be to the fore tomorrow. She is really doing tremendously well, and I think a very popular, good run of form. That's race number 7, our penultimate event of the afternoon, 16:30. All right, let's round up what should be a good afternoon's racing in the Paris Cape. That is Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. At 17:05, we should see the runners face up for race number 8, and that's over the 1200 meters. And it must be said, it has been all the rage once raised to Wonder Dune. There's a 3-year-old daughter of Zusta, and will be partnered once again by Pierre Corneover, who certainly has found that magic formula. That is going to be the 3 Wonder Dune. I did allude to the sibling possible double, but it has to pick up its feet if it's going to get the better of Wonder Dune, if reputations are anything to go by. And when we were talking about the 1 October Storm, who is the half brother to the 5 October Fest, Candice Pass Robinson and Ray Danielson teaming up. Right, so Wonder Dune, you were saying to me off air, you've also heard the reputation it breezed over from the blown in with the cold front that last hit us.
Yes, this was says couldn't have been more impressive. The reason being is she wasn't a tear away from the jump. She actually came out slightly slow, so she was behind runners. And on debut, that's never easy. And going through the 400, Pierre Corneille was actually looking for room already. And when he got the split, she ran away from them. Very, very impressive. The word is out that she's something special.
What's the old expression?
I
The
think
dog's
she's,
barking.
yeah, she's expected to remain unbeaten. I just want to put one dampener on things over here. Have a look at the date she ran on. She ran on the 26th of July. Have a look at the date numbers 2 and 4 ran on. The 26th of July. And if you look at the times, races aren't run on paper, but if you look at the times, numbers 2 and 4 hold her convincingly. Yes, she's got a lot of scope for improvements, and I certainly wouldn't be surprised if she bolts up once again. But strictly on times, number 4, Wild Applause, carrying slightly less weight, beats her by 5.5 lengths. So you have to respect that. And I think Music of the Night, since her rest, has come along nicely. And I think she's now 2.5 kgs better off. So Museum is taking all opportunities with both hands that he gets for the Snates. It's a massive stable to ride for, so he'll be giving it all, his all. So yes, I do think Wonder Dune could remain unbeaten. On timed, I have respect for numbers 2 and 4, and my sneaker in the pack for the trifecta is number 1, Garden of Eden. I'm really, really keen to see how she goes in her first run up the straight. It might be on the short side, but she'll be running on all the way to the line.
All right, so there it is, that trifecta box suggestion from Mr. Marie, the Wonder Horse, the 3 Wonder Dune as part of that quartet. 1, 2, 3, and 4 suggested trifecta. That is race 8 off at 17:05, a future class 4, and that's over the 1200.